So in the department, together with the National Advisory Committee of the 4P's, we adopted the SWIDI, SWIDI Social Welfare Development Indicator. It's a case management tool. Remember, we have city links and municipal links. They're the case managers nationwide. We have 14,000 of them nationwide. They're assigned 200 families per case manager. They visit, they run the SWIDI tool. How is the SWIDI tool different from Proximins? SWIDI tool looks into both the economic well-being and your social adequacy. Access to running water, access to daycare facilities. So it's a matagal na yung tool na yan, nandyan lang nun siya, pero it was never highlighted. So we adopted this tool kasi it looks at not just your economic well-being, but your social adequacy and all your vulnerabilities. Ikaw ba ay may solo parent sa bahay? And that became the basis of exiting. Meron ho yung tatlong level. Level 1 is survival. Level 2 is subsistence. Level 3 is self-sufficiency. If you reach out number 3, you're exited out of the program.
Meron ba tayong measuring guideline? I mean, not just like magkano dapat ang income, hindi ganon, hindi income level, hindi number of members of the household and the income level of everyone.
Ma'am, the SWIDI is a more humane tool kasi it was developed by social workers, ran by social workers. The reason why we adopted it, yung Proximin test ng una kasi is more economic in nature. This one puts into account the social adequacy, the vulnerabilities. May mahirap pa sa pamilya. Meron bang solo parent dyan? May matanda ba nakatira? It also looks at, ikaw ba nakaka-access ka sa CR, for instance? Meron pa siyang mga indrang indicators that looks at it. We will gladly furnish the committee a copy of the SWIDI tool for everybody's appreciation. So, umalis kami doon sa Proximins kasi it wasn't capturing the accurate picture. And then we adopted the SWIDI in order to graduate people out of the program.
Despite that, we still have a gap of more than 1 million who hopefully could be included in the target, but they're not being helped. Is it because of lack of funds, lack of personnel, or we don't know where they are?
Madam Chair, as mentioned a while ago, of course, we have to follow the direction of the President. He wants it now anchored on the poverty incidents. So if we were to follow the poverty incidents, we're looking at 3 million to 3.5 million poor families. So, alam na natin yung numero, we're not going back to 4.4, clearly. But, I cannot see that with a certainty because I'm waiting for CDMS from PSA. Pag nabuo na ng CDMS, ng PSA yung CDMS, doon talaga natin makikita yung tunay na storya, gaano ba karami pa ang mahihirap. Hindi namin na-bridge yung gap because we don't have a targeting tool anymore. We have an exiting tool, but we don't have a targeting tool to enter, an entry tool. Ang nangyari sa 4P's ngayon, kaya lang namin mag-exit, pero wala kaming way to enter kasi nga, the law states to use the most current targeting tool. At wala pa tayo noon. Meron lang kaming bahagya, pero kailan lang namin nakuha.
Who's developing that?
The saturation was done by PSA. The Proximins na gagamitin doon is being developed by PSA. Dev.
Ask them to speed up.
They gave us portions of it already, but again, I cannot comment with a portion of the data. I need to see the whole data set for me to figure out kung tugma yung numero based on the macroeconomic assumptions. Kasi you have to remember, CDMS is granular. They literally went to every sitio, to every street, looking at all the indicators, pati food insecurity. It gives you granular data, which is powerful. And Madam Chair, it's not just for us, it's for all departments to use. It's not just for DSWD. So if you're in the future, you're looking at fuel subsidy, lifeline rates, everything is already in CDMS. So I just want to get our hands on that tool.
Thank you. Do I still have time for one last question? Although I have a lot. Just one last. Then try to go second round, Madam Chair. Okay. Thank you. Sige, overtime ka na daw, pero one last. Sige, one last. This is one of my favorite. Dami kasing issues. Anyway, sa DSWD OSEC, nakalodge yung Protective Social Welfare Program. Does this already include our pension for senior citizens under the law? Yeah, the social pension for indigent senior citizens, which is RA 9994. Expanded Senior Citizens Act 2010 ba ito? Oo. Yes.
Madam Chair, yes, it's lodged under that as amended. Nasa protective services ulat yan.
Okay. First Secretary, that sometimes when we go around, senior citizens come to us, they do not receive their pension. I don't want to put you in a spot, but we have to bring it to the conversation. I think I have a suspicion it's because of the unliquidated LGUs? No. What is the
No, ma'am.
walang pondo or hindi sila nakalista na indigent senior or baka yung LGU where you drop it or leave put the funds has not liquidated. That's a perennial issue. Wala kaming pension. I feel so bad being an author of the law. I'm sure all of us sitting here are authors of the law. Yeah, what's the reason?
Madam Chair, first of all, we can submit to you the performance, but we've always fully utilized the funds given to us. The target there is 4 million, pero kulang po talaga. There are two things, as a matter of fact. One, the wrong information. Kasi remember, our law says indigent. So a lot of seniors probably think they're qualified, pero may mga qualifier na nilagay dun eh. You must not be getting any type of pension, you must be indigent. And it's really very hard to filter them out kasi these are old people and they need it. Second, kulang din po talaga yung pondo. As it is right now, it's not universal. We have a running wait list of close to 1 million already. 1 million na ang naka-wait list natin. These are qualified indigent families, so senior citizens.
Yun nga. So we have to serve them because they're, una, nagrehistro sila, pangalawa, kwalipikado silang indigent talaga, so kulang na ng pondo. Can you just put on record, kasi this is another unfunded law. See, we build the hope of our poor elderlies and then wala palang pondo. Magkano ang kulang na unfunded senior citizens na mahirap?
12 billion additional. And for the record, every budget season, we state this for the record also, na lumalaki yung waitlist natin, but the budget given to us for SOCPEN is pegged. Hindi siya halos lumalaki.
Chair, how do you think we can, you authored it, we authored this law, 2010, I'm the principal author. I think all of us sitting here were authors. And then we're not able to implement it completely nationwide. And you heard it, 1 million indigent senior citizens do not receive their social pension. It breaks our hearts. Madam Chair, I think that's a problem. You have to 12 billion. You can take it away from flood control is 250 billion. And what's 12 billion for senior citizens? No, it's really up to the chair. Kaya naman yung ng ating chair yun. Yeah, I'd like to convert your smile into words, Madam Chair. What do you feel about it?
Yes, of course, we can recommend. Happy to recommend. But
Under your watch, nakakaiyak eh. Yung mahirap na nga, matanda, tapos may batas, tapos hindi natin pinupondohan, hindi ba parang, hindi tama?
well, for the record, I was the author of the first version that was at 500. And when the second version came around at 1,000, I had my reservations, knowing precisely of the budget, of the capacity to absorb it. No, not that I don't want to give it, of course I want to give it, pero yun. But we have to move towards that because nga between the time that it was 500, pegged at 500, naging 1,000, may inflation pa, di ba? So even yung 500 na napakaliit na niyan.
This is based on the 1,000.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And 12 billion ang kulang
For the waitlist alone.
after
1 million na yung waitlist natin eh.
if you cover all,
Universal, which we've been supportive.
seniors all mahirap senior. All poor.
1 million. That 1 million. The 1 million waitlists are qualified and they're just waiting for us to enroll them.
Yes, I think that's a problem we can jointly solve. Yes, Madam Chair, 12 billion will find a source if we can. If the reports are correct, what we see in the news that there's more than 250 flood control in the NEP. Ensuring the House has not transferred it elsewhere to a menu that's acceptable. I bring that concern to both our chairs. Yes, thank you.
Definitely work
Thank
on
you
it.
for the time you've given me, Madam Chair.
So I'd like to acknowledge Senator Bongo, but before we do a second round, he can have his time. But I just want to make a very quick reaction to Senator Lawrence's concerns and very enthusiastic observations and on SLP, no? SLP, but then before that, we were talking about AIX in general and the need for qualified personnel. So, Senator Lawrence, please pay attention. You will be very happy about my intervention, so I need your full attention. So,
I'll refile the institutionalization of the SLP. I always listen to you. When
I know. That's why I know you want to catch this. So very quickly, and I've had this discussion with the secretary, this is just to put it on record, that given our shortage of social workers, and the important role that they play in this department and all the attached agencies, there is a need really, and I say this, maybe this is like the third or fourth budget, no, actually 2 congresses that I've been saying this, we need to work very closely with CHED to ensure that our state universities know what areas, what specializations are where we have a shortages, and that can easily be hired by government. Kasi yan yung job matching, di ba? Ito na yung trabaho, kulang lang ng tao, match. And the reality is many of them will leave for other countries for greener pastures, but that's the next step. At the very least, we can have more SUCs, and that's why I said you will like this, because you have an SUC in your province. So between social workers, development workers, and any other specialty that would address the gaps that you have, you can also do this in a province-wide basis. That's why I mentioned Antique, no? Because they can, in a matter of time, they can provide those specializations, and then they can even supply in the region. So something for you to consider. And my last point there is, like in other professions where they have a 2-year programs to support, is there such a thing like a
Social welfare assistant.
There you go, the social welfare assistant, 1 or 2 year program ba yan? Ano yan?
Actually, the undergrad, 2-year undergrad, that we just read the standards.
Exactly. So you can make use of that. And the last point I wanted to raise is, and I always say
that, of course. Maybe we can ask the SWD to operationalize that concept, because on Friday, there's a hearing on SUCs here. And before that hearing, how do we operationalize that so it can be, I can tell them and then...
Ma'am, it's as simple as having them offer social work in their SUCs or LUCs.
Maybe somebody from the SWD can be here during our hearing of SUCs on Friday.
Yes, we will send over our capacity building undersecretary.
The other point that I wanted to emphasize, no, because when we spoke, Secretary, I said that there's so much that we can do to even innovate further the profession of the social workers and the development workers. So the World Economic Forum states that by 2030, and they made this statement, I think 10 years ago, 2030 is just 5 years to go. By 2030, 50% of jobs will be changed by automation. 9 out of 10 jobs will require digital skills. So 50% of jobs, and I'm pretty sure social work would also be affected. So that's why when we discuss the important role that they play, I want to be sure that we're also helping them adapt to the changes. So there's AI, and AI can do so much work that teachers are doing. I'm not saying they'll replace teachers, but there's so much work that they can help teachers with. So teachers can now focus on kids who need more assistance, can take more time understanding, the needs of every student in their classroom. And the same thing with social workers. So unless we take advantage of what AI has to offer, nababurden din talaga yung social workers natin. So that's really my point, no, na how do we equip them with the tools today that will allow them to do better and thrive in the jobs that they have.
Madam, allow us to, after discussion, I sat with our social worker association inside the department to come up with a bullet point of things on how we can make their lives easier, more adaptive. Allow us a couple more weeks to fine-tune the ideas, both in encouraging more people to take social work, and at the same time making the lives of our existing social workers easier including the points that you raised, that maybe we can reshuffle them from non-essential tasks to more essential tasks.
My message then to the social workers are, your tasks are so important.